Today we are exposing the truth on Patrick and Thais from 90 Day Fiance. Guys, Patrick from 90 Day Fiance was banned from the Olympics. Although Patrick is now a successful security consultant, he used to be one of the strongest weightlifters in the world, and that is before he made what can only be described as not one, but two of the biggest mistakes of his career. So Patrick, who is engaged to Thais, has finally opened up about his Olympic ban and heavyweight lifting career, and you'll never believe how it all happened. So after years of being banned from the Olympics, Patrick has revealed that the real reason behind his Olympic ban was his use of steroids. And Patrick started weightlifting at the early age of 9. His professional career started off brightly in 2008 after he was recruited by his coach from a local high school power championship. And according to him, he gave it his all right from the bat, and that just made him hit an unofficial junior world record in under just 2 years of training. And so from there, Patrick joined the U.S. national team, and he went ahead to win 2 national championships in 2011 and 2012, and he was also the highest ranked American weightlifter in his weight class, and he came out 8th in the Pan American Games. However, his success didn't come without some struggles, and as he suffered a tear that would put him in a lot of pain in 2011, but Patrick refused to accept defeat, and he ended up overcoming this obstacle. And so Patrick was soaring, and he was soaring fast, and he looked to be destined for greatness, and was favored by a lot of people to win a medal in the super heavyweight division at the 2012 Olympics in London. And that is an absolutely huge honor to be considered a fan favorite to win an Olympic medal out of so many other professionals from all over the world. But this was all before his fall from grace because of his suspension. So Patrick was suspended by the U.S. Anti-Doping Agency, UA, because he was caught using an illegal substance, human growth hormone, otherwise known as ASHGH, and I can't believe he actually did something like this. So if you don't know, the human growth hormone is a performance enhancing drug that is banned by all sporting authorities, not just heavyweight lifting. And I don't know about you guys, but what I didn't understand when he talked about this on the show was that he didn't even try to explain himself or why he took it or literally anything like that. He just said that he tested positive for it and moved right on. And according to the statement released by the USADA, Patrick tested positive for HGH on 2 separate occasions. The first was on the 7th of February in 2012, and the second came almost 3 weeks later on the 27th of February that same year. And this suspension took Patrick out of the professional weightlifting scene for 2 years, and he literally had to take a back seat, but he refused to let his dreams slip away from his fingers. And after accepting this ban, Patrick started competing for the Brazilian national team. And in case you didn't know, Patrick is part Brazilian because his father is originally from Brazil. And Patrick, returned from his ban in 2015, and he finished 4th in the 2015 Pan American Games in Toronto. And he literally rose by 4 places in the leaderboard, and that's absolutely an amazing comeback when you remember that he left at 8th place and everything was looking up for Patrick once again, and then he made another big mistake. And you would think that Patrick would stay away from all that kind of stuff after he was caught the first time, but for some bizarre reason he didn't, and what Patrick did next will shock you. So after his return to the competitive scene, Patrick tested positive again for another kind of use, and this is absolutely crazy, especially when you look at how he just barely returned from his suspension. And this time around, Patrick tested positive for a completely different performing enhancing kind of thing, and Patrick's second offense earned him an 8-year ban from competing and trying to make the Olympic team, and that's literally almost 3 times the time he spent suspended after his first offense. And I cannot even begin to explain how Patrick's second offense was 10 times more serious than his first, and Patrick knew this. And according to him, it basically ended his weightlifting career, a career that he spent the better part of his life building since he was just 9 years old. And it's so bizarre that he would actually make the same mistake twice. But Patrick's mistake did more than just crush his Olympic weightlifting dream. It also cost him something far worse. The legal troubles that Patrick faced because of his suspension didn't only affect his career, it also took a toll on his first marriage, and he ended up getting divorced from his ex-wife, who was also also a weightlifter. And looking back at all that had happened, Patrick has openly revealed that he made a mistake and he still regrets the decision to use today. But Patrick refused to let this incident hold him back, as he has created a successful business for himself as a security consultant and has also found love again. And Patrick met his dream girl, Thais, on a dating app while he was on a trip to Brazil to visit his dad. And at first he was scared because Thais seemed way too good to be true, and you can't really blame him because, you know, there's literally no way for you to tell a person you met online is genuine or a catfish, but he still decided to go for it, and he struck in on some good luck because, you know, things were going really great between him and Thais, and that is until they weren't. So it turns out that after Thais and Patrick's brother John don't get along at all, and the fact that, you know, they don't really like each other is pretty obvious to everyone, including Patrick. And let's not forget that Thais' English isn't really all that great, so she's having a really tough time, you know, managing John and everything. And she doesn't really have this issue with Patrick though, because he speaks fluent Portuguese, so he and Thais can communicate just fine. But to Patrick, Thais is everything he ever wanted in a partner, and maybe more. And I mean, he did say that, you know, she was one of a kind, and to others, Thais really isn't that great because she gives off some kind of unbelievable red flags that Patrick just seems to completely ignore. And you know what they do say though, love is blind after all. So that's probably why Patrick doesn't even see it. But Thais has taken things way too far because Patrick has to share his location with her all the time, and that's just a little bit creepy if you do ask me. But either way, they both appear to be genuinely in love, and that's a really hard thing to say for a lot of these couples that are on 90 Day Fiance. And Patrick may have single-handedly ruined his professional weightlifting career, but at the end of the day, we all make mistakes, and we shouldn't forget that he admitted to making a mistake, which he still regrets. And besides, this happened years ago, and he's obviously moved on with his life. I just can't figure out why he made the mistake and then gave absolutely no explanation for it. But Patrick's ban is actually over next year, and although he said his weightlifting career is over, who knows if he might actually have a change of heart. But let me know down in the comments section what you think of Patrick, if he may decide to do next year when his ban is lifted. Well guys, thank you all so much for watching this video. Please do me a huge favor, hit that like, follow, share, subscribe button, and y'all better stay tuned for many more videos.